Hey there, the Riverwalk again. It's getting late in the evening. It's actually a bit darker than it appears on the camera here. But some things have happened lately that you might find interesting. And that is noticing the difference between what you could call smart and intelligence. And for example, if you take, you could take religion, but you could just as easily take politics as an example. And politics, you have political parties, liberal, conservative, libertarian, socialist, and so on. And they each have a template or a lens that they look at the world through. And they basically think that their view is right, the right view, the correct view, and that everyone else's view is wrong. And this, of course, also applies to religious denominations, Methodist, Baptist, Catholic, so on. They're all separated. They're not supposed to judge each other, but by separating, that is what they do. And they think that they are also right. So anyway, the way our society works is like we do encourage people from childhood to be right, to get the right answer, the math problem, the test, the exam, science, English, whatever it is, right? So one can hardly blame people for resorting to and accommodating this mode, but it doesn't lead anywhere good. And another example that's happened, I've seen recently, Robert F. Kennedy, running for president, and he's been basically in the trenches doing all kinds of charitable work, pursuing legal action against polluters and other things like that, which is all very good. It's not sitting on the sideline and basically saying my political view is right, yours is wrong, and being glued to your chair and not doing anything. It's actually being proactive and doing something about problems. Well, anyway, I've noticed a common thread when political people, discuss RFK Jr. because he's likable and, he's doing good work. There's no question about that. But because they belong to a different party, perhaps, they have to say, well, I don't agree with everything that he says, but, overall I like him. And what that is basically, well, the set of the smart perspective, they have to say that. So I'm hearing a lot of people say that. I don't agree with everything. And they don't go into detail about what it is that they don't agree with. Well, what they don't agree with is that he's not a member of their party. So that's very, very unproductive. Now, to get to the difference between smartness and intelligence, is that intelligence does not have the filter, the lens, the dogma, the memorized template of how to look at the world and react or judge, basically, what is seen. That doesn't work. It's everywhere. It doesn't work. It's not constructive. The other way, intelligence is simply being aware of the world around you. Being aware of things, being aware of what's happening with other people. Now, you could have a conversation with someone who's political, and once people get into these mindsets, what happens in their brain is that these pathways get dug deeper and deeper and deeper. It's just like walking through a forest. So you walk through the forest and you always go down the same path. So you wear the grass away and it gets deeper and deeper and deeper. And the longer you stay on that path, the less chance is that you're ever going to escape it. Whereas if you embark on a new path that you haven't been on before, then you are likely to discover all kinds of things that you didn't know. Well, anyway, this is the difference between a sort of rigid, inflexible mind and a mind that is neuroplasticity is what it gets called when your mind is flexible and able to create new thought patterns, pathways. So anyway, that's basically it. That intelligence is different from smartness. And intelligence is flexible, fluid, and pays attention to what's happening in the world in reality. Was going to mention earlier, a minute ago, was that talking to someone who's talking about politics, they will go on and on and on about the Constitution and blah, 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 and history and all these things, all these pathways that are dug so deep in their minds. And they're going blah, 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 talking to you. And do they have any idea what's going on with you internally, inside, emotionally, when you're basically told to sit down and listen to the lecturer, professor? Do they have any idea what's going on inside anyone else? Well, that's not what it's about. It's about being smarter than the other person. So anyway, I'll leave it there. I hope this is helpful. Neuroplasticity is something very interesting, which I'm looking into due to some concussions that I've had and things like that. And you can hopefully take a look at your own patterns and figure out where you are and how best to move into a flexible, fluid, intelligent mode of living and thinking, because it will be the best for you and for those around you. Sayonara.